you're hanging over a bridge, and the person is dead. If somebody has not grown up in India, you would find it odd, really odd. I think I've seen the city change, where there was a point when you could still cover the city in 30 minutes, one end to the other end. Now, I think it could even 3 hours seem short.
I have to travel every day I travel like 30 kilometers to go to college. It's pretty tiring because like morning it takes like an hour, and then on the way back it takes anywhere between an hour and a half to like 3 hours. I can never tell.
Predominantly, it's because of the development that the city has seen, which is unstructured. So I think that's the primary reason why there's a massive amount of traffic.
I think there were a lot of they keep putting in the news that like someone died or something because they couldn't go in. Like the ambulance didn't make it in time. You take like way too long. I don't think it's healthy for anybody to sit in a car that long or like in transport for so long.
If somebody has not grown up in India, you would find it odd, really odd. If you look at any popular city globally, you would see that has a strong and a safe public transport system. We lack on both. We lack on strong, we lack on safe. People don't choose to use public transport, right? And it's a chicken and egg story. Because people don't use public transport, government doesn't invest in public transport. Sadly, every car has one person driving. So it's a private car. Is one person who's actually blocking the entire, blocking the road, and then you have a bus which is carrying 50 people but struggling to cut through because there are so many cars on the road. People honk. It's not only in Bangalore. You would see that in India. It's a way of telling somebody that I'm there. It's not about a concern. It's just telling somebody I'm here. Many a times you would see people honking and communicating using the horns. You would see certain drivers who would communicate with each other in saying, I honked twice, then that means I'll get a pass. So you will slow down. I'll move faster. Communication that people have built along the way. It's interesting, but they don't know how annoying it is for somebody else. But it is what it is.
What is the craziest thing you've seen in the traffic?
Craziest as in scariest, or
Yeah, like scariest or just most unusual or for your.
too many things. Actually, I've seen people being driven over, the torso being separated from the body, and the person is still speaking because the person can't realize that that the body is cut in half. I've seen situations where the the person is hit and you're hanging over a bridge and the person is dead. That's fatal. It's sad people still don't take it seriously. It always seems like it's not going to happen to me. It's happened to my neighbor. It happened to my cousin, my somebody else. But everybody feels that it's not going to happen to me. And especially the stretch that we are on is really risky. That's because it's the way to the airport. It's a lot of chaos in the city. And suddenly you get a 30-kilometer stretch which is quiet and good. It's a good road. Drivers tend to go off to sleep at that point. Also because a lot of taxis that ply between airport and city. Each of these taxi drivers do about 24 hours of working without a break. So obviously at the 23rd hour, person is almost dead, sleepy, and they get this road and some good wind, you doze off, right? And those cause a lot of accidents. There could be a solution. Obviously, it starts from a couple of ways. One is what we said about the transport system. So that once the public transport starts improving and people start trusting it and ensuring that they don't carry their egos. Today, most of the people drive cars because they can afford one. I think it's important that you understand that it's less about your affordability, it's more about the damage to the city. If that level of awareness comes in, I think it's going to be different. There was this initiative that it was a public-private partnership that was done many years ago. Somehow it did not take shape and it did not work out. But I think it's still relevant, which is something called Saibana, which was cycle, bus and Nadiyadu. Nadiyadu in Kannada means walking. So the idea was to promote three things: cycling, buses and walking. So that initiative was good. Somehow I think we did not take off and fly with it. But eventually, maybe something like that, if it can come in, there is a hope.